All right, Samori Benjamin here from City Field with Mets rookie Mark Vientos. Mark, great meeting you, buddy. Now, you are here your first season. You debuted last year, but before we get to that, you were raised in Florida, I know, right? So how did you get a love for baseball as a kid?
I could say from my dad. My dad is kind of the person that introduced me to the game. He was playing backyard baseball, and he saw that I could swing it a little bit. He put me into baseball because he was a football, basketball player. So I'm pretty sure he was probably like, oh, maybe I'm gonna put him in basketball or something like that. But he said that he saw me swinging the bat, and he just put me into baseball. And from there on, I've been playing baseball.
Now, your father is Dominican and he's from New York, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, your father, when he was living in New York, was he a fan of one of these two teams?
He was a New York Mets fan.
Mets fan, okay. He was a Mets fan. And so, when you were a kid, were you a Mets fan?
I grew up watching the Mets. I could say I was a Mets fan, but I feel like just in sports in general, I like idolize players. Like I watch players. I'm not a team. I've never been like a fan of just one team. I've been fans of players and watching them and see how they go about their business and how they become great. So I've been more fans of players on like you had Jose Reyes, you had David Wright. But yeah, my dad was a big time Mets fan.
Yeah, Jose Reyes, for me, when he was playing, he was my favorite player to watch. I loved his speed and power game combination. Now, who were some of your other favorite players? You said Jose Reyes, David Wright, any other ball players in the Major League when you were a kid growing up who you really liked?
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols. Those are a couple guys that I just, like as a kid, you just would get on the box and just mimic their batting stance and mimic all the little things they would do. And I feel like those names are just a couple of the guys that I would just watch on a daily basis growing up.
You are from South Florida, right?
Yes.
Now, in terms of competition, playing in South Florida, what was that like?
No, it's the best of the best. I feel like, me personally, you have a lot of talented players, a lot of good talent that comes out of Florida that's actually playing in the major league level, and it's all year round. And I feel like I was put in the best situation going to Florida because I was actually born in Connecticut, and I grew up in Florida. And just being out there and being around all the competition and being around the atmosphere, because it's like a lot, almost like VR, where everybody breathes and sleeps baseball. And I feel like that's where I grew in love with the game.
And you mentioned your father was a big fan of all the sports. Did you come up playing any other sport?
No, just baseball.
Just baseball, okay. Baseball. All right, so now I know in high school in 2017, you were, deciding whether or not to go to University of Miami to college, and then you were drafted by the Mets in the second round. So just first, how did it feel to be drafted by a team who your father was a fan of and you grew up watching some of them, and then how do you make your decision between I'm not going to go to University of Miami, I'm going to go sign with the Mets and start my minor league career?
It was a pretty tough decision, honestly, because I grew up just as much as my dad's a Mets fan. I grew up a Kings fan, and I always dreamed about going to UM to play over there and to go to school over there. And I feel like it just came down to what I thought was best for me and my mindset, like what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I feel like I wanted to do this, and I feel like there's nothing better than going out, playing professionally, and getting better every day, and honestly taking it as a job where I go out there for hours and I'm just nonstop working on my craft. I feel like it was the best situation for me, and that's what it came down to. I was like, what is going to help me grow as a Major League Baseball player I want to be?
You know, just at what point in your development did you feel within inside yourself that you had a real shot at making it here where you are right now?
I always had, honestly, the day I got drafted, I always had confidence that I'd be here and I'll play at this level, and slowly but surely, but I'm gonna be one of the best at this level, and that's what I take pride in every day, coming out here and working my butt off just to get to that top spot and to win championships, and that's my mindset every time I come out here, and I feel like I've had that at a young age. Thanks to my dad, thanks to my family, because they're the ones that pushed me to be great, and I feel like I wouldn't be here without them.
The minor leagues is something that everyone has to go through. It's not an easy process. It took you about 4.5 years or so to make it to the minor leagues. Just your minor league experience, and I know in 2022 you made the Futures game, but before that, just what was the beginning part of your minor league journey like, and how was that?
It was tough. It was a learning curve, and just being around a lot of people that are older than me, and just I had to do a lot of growing up. I was 17, just coming out of high school. I had to take care of myself. I was so used to my mom and my family taking care of me, so I had to learn how to take care of myself and grow up and do the little things, routines and stuff like that. And I feel like I appreciate that because I grew up a lot quicker. Instead of, like, I feel like if I was in college, it would have taken me a lot longer to grow up because I still would have been back at home in Miami.
Mm-hmm. And I know 2020 season, that was a very worst season for everybody, especially minor leaguers, because there was no minor league season. So what did you do during the whole 2020 thing?
Just train. I trained every single day. Kept the mindset of it doesn't matter that the season's over. I still got to get better. I still got to work. I still got to be focused on what I have to do.
2022, you make the Futures game in LA. So you were with current teammate now, Francisco Alvarez. How was it for you to get the nod to play in the Futures game last year?
It was amazing to play with such a great player and with such a great event, full of great players, and represent the New York Mets, and just another dream come true, accomplishment that I could check off my list, and I was appreciative of that.